So, President Trump, he's outperforming his predecessor, President Joe Biden, as well as other presidents at this point in their second term. I am curious. Let's dive into some of those strong points for the president. What are they? You said immigration, fighting crime. Talk to us a little bit more about those.
Sure. Well, essentially, when we look at what has been controversial action, sending the National Guard to Washington, D.C., you see that when it comes to issues of immigration, issues of crime, concerns amongst voters are very high. And even though a majority will tell you that, Trump is acting a bit as a showman, sending the National Guard troops and highlighting Washington, D.C. as a crime hotspot, which they don't really think it's a big crime hotspot in the country. In general, Americans do believe that crime is a problem in inner cities across America and in major metropolitan areas across America. A majority view it as an issue, as a concerning issue, and therefore 54% say that they support Trump's action to send the National Guard to Washington, D.C., and they view it as a necessary step. So, on one hand, they say, he's acting a little as a showman. Washington, D.C. is probably not the worst place in the country when it comes to crime. But on the other hand, they like the signal that is being conveyed by the president. And in a similar fashion, when you look at immigration, there's wide agreement with the administration's immigration policy. Some policies within the umbrella of immigration score as well as 75% support for the administration, namely getting criminal, illegal immigrants out of the country and deporting them. And while voters reserve the right to judge how the policies are being implemented, and again, there's a wide range there. Sometimes they like what they see, and more often than not, they don't. When it comes to the policies themselves, they agree with the policies. So, on crime and immigration, the Trump administration is on a very strong footing headed into the midterms, and that's why you see it pressing its advantage and now saying, well, maybe we need to send National Guard troops in Chicago or in New York City or in other major metropolitan areas.
So, do those numbers suggest, do you think, for areas that people think Trump is doing a good job, like crime, like immigration, people like President Trump's sentiment, but they think he goes too far? And if so, do Republicans have anything to learn from that for the midterms?
Well, I think it's still too early, and voters still have a wait and see approach on the Trump administration. Since the beginning of the administration, we've been asking the question, do you think Democrats should oppose everything that Trump is doing, or should they take more of a wait and see attitude towards his actions? And the number has always been in the low 60% wait and see. And this month it was 62%. So voters are still allowing the administration to play its hand. They are giving the administration the benefit of the doubt, and they want to see what results the administration's actions bring to bear. When they like the policies and they like the actions, are giving the administration high or higher ratings. And when they don't, like when it comes to the jitters that we see around the economy and trade and other areas, then they're making it clear that they don't really think the president is getting the traction that he says that he's getting. And in many ways, the president is betting the midterms on his economy policy and his trade and tariffs policy and his inflation policies. And I think that that's really the story that this survey paints a full year and a half ahead of the midterm elections.